My name is Brian Bates, and I'm the membership coordinator here at Exponent Philanthropy. I'm in Washington, D.C. with Fia Amebiasuchi, our membership marketing manager. We are eager to get to know you and help you grow in your philanthropy while helping you make the most in your membership with us.
Hi, everyone. This is Afia, and I echo Brian's sentiments. Thank you all for taking the time to participate in today's program. This session will serve as an introduction and review to our member benefits, and we'll go over as much as we can to answer as many questions as possible. Many of you are joining us as new members, or you've been here for a while, and some of you are still considering joining. So we hope to make this a valuable experience for everyone. So we have a few goals for today's session. First, we'll highlight some of our most important resources and benefits. Next, we'll help you navigate the Exponent Philanthropy website. And lastly, we'll answer as many questions as possible. To help us talk about being a part of our community, we have one of our members joining us today. Hi, Jenna. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Hi there. My name is Jenna Walkman. I just wanted to introduce myself. I started here at Ball Brothers Foundation back in 2014. We are a family foundation that's based in Indiana. We have about 5 staff members. So like many of you, we have a very small staff. And my role as a program officer is both to work with our grantees as they're looking at applying for funding, as well as to work with our board at making funding decisions. Our foundation became members of Exponent Philanthropy back in 2015. Honestly, the reason we initially joined Exponent was because we really wanted access to their wonderful membership, the management and operations report tool. And ever since we joined, we've just learned more and more about the great resources that they have to offer. And they are certainly one of the best membership organizations that we're a part of.
Thanks, Jenna. Before we begin, I'll provide a quick overview of the Zoom webinar technology. Depending on the version of Zoom you're using, your controls will either be in the top left of your window or down the lower middle. First, I want to highlight the audio settings button where you can adjust your listening options anytime. This is where you can opt to call in by phone if your internet connection is shaky. Second, I'd like to highlight the chat function, which is how we'll receive all participant comments and questions today. If you'd like all participants to see your chat, enable the option to send to all panelists and attendees circled here in red. If you would prefer to chat with us privately, you can select send to all panelists. You can also use this if you're having technical difficulties during the webinar, and we'll help you troubleshoot. If you have any questions or would like to chat about specific benefits, you can reach out to us after the webinar and we'll be happy to help. The webinar will end with some time for Q&A, so if you have a quick clarifying question, we can try to answer it during the webinar, but if not, we will leave some time to answer it during the Q&A. Or if we run out of time, we'll follow up with you after the webinar. Remember to send us all questions via the chat feature. We are recording this webinar and it will be made available to you after the program. We encourage you to pass along this recording to others within your organization, as well as other funders in your community that might benefit from our resources and programs. Today, we will begin with an overview of who we are, who your fellow members are, and our mission and vision. Next, we'll share how we guide, connect, and champion our members through our programs and resources, and highlight some of our benefits that can save you time and money. Since many of our resources and opportunities to connect with other members are online, we'll also show you how to navigate our website.
Thanks, Brian. So let's start with who is Exponent Philanthropy? We're the country's largest philanthropic membership organization and the only one dedicated to funders who practice philanthropy with few or no staff. We're here in Washington, D.C., and we have about 20 staff dedicated to providing high-touch member service, and we have a warm and welcoming culture. We provide valuable and practical resources, programs, and connections to help our members be more effective grant makers. We serve leanly staffed members regardless of funding priorities, years of experience, or where they are in their philanthropic life cycle. So here's our mission and vision statement. Our mission is the core of who we are, an organization that empowers philanthropists to leverage their resources and amplify their impact. We carry out our mission through our strategic framework, which is guide, connect, and champion. And we'll structure this webinar around these 3 pillars.
Our inclusive culture and commitment to serving all leanly staffed funders has informed our decision to offer membership at a flat fee to everyone, regardless of asset size. Though in order to serve our members' different needs, we offer 2 tiers of membership, Signature and Signature Plus. Our Signature membership is $750 annually. It includes access to our resources and publications, Q&A service, member directory, online discussion groups, webinars, and member pricing for our programs, and discounts on products and services to help you in your philanthropy. We'll share more details about these discounts later on the webinar. Our Signature Plus membership is $1,750 annually and includes all the benefits of Signature membership, in addition to up to 10 hours of legal guidance from lawyers with expertise in foundation and nonprofit law, as well as regular legal updates. You can join at either level, and current Signature members can upgrade to Signature Plus at any time during your membership cycle, and we'll prorate the cost depending on how many months are left in your membership cycle. Our nearly 2,000 members work in many different communities and support causes of every kind. Our membership includes private foundations, operating foundations, small community foundations, corporate foundations, philanthropic families, as well as individual donors and donor-advised fund holders. While the majority of our members are private foundations, we have a growing number of leanly staffed community foundations and individual donors and philanthropic families. As you'll see from the middle graphic, just over half, or 53% of our members, are family foundations, while others are mainly independent foundations and some are public charities. Our members are quite diverse in terms of asset size and funding area, but they all practice philanthropy in a lean fashion. 23% of our members are run by volunteers. 77% have at least 1 paid staff person, and the average staff size is 2.6 people. They are all motivated by personal passion, community needs, and a strong desire for better outcomes. To get an idea of our members or prospective members who are on this webinar, let's take a quick poll. Okay, so it looks like the vast majority of our members on this call are at staffed community foundations.
Thanks, Brian. As you can see from this graphic, many of our members are spread throughout the nation. Most of our members skew to the east and the west, the East Coast and the Midwest, and we're equally distributed across the country. Many of our members fund a number of areas. Education and human services are the top priorities. We know most of our members prioritize to fund locally, but almost a quarter of them also fund internationally. Now let's dive into how we guide, connect, and champion our members through our program's resources. A big part of how we guide our members is through our educational programming. So I'd like to spend some time going over what we offer. Since we have a nationwide membership, we know a long plane ride may not be in this year's budget, so we do our best to bring our programming to different cities around the country. Every year, we have a one-day, multi-day conference, and we also have seminars, local programs, webinars, and peer learning cohorts. I always encourage our members to read our biweekly member emails and to regularly check our online programs calendar to learn more about upcoming events. Because our annual conference and seminars have registration fees, here's where being a member makes a big difference, as rates are higher for non-members. On that note, I want to talk about our biggest program of the year, which is our Connect conference. Registration is opening in the spring, and we hope to see many of you there. This year, our conference is hosted in St. Louis, Missouri on October 2nd through the 4th. This biannual conference is attended by almost 400 funders. Connect is designed for active learners who want to think critically about their work. We look for opportunities to push our attendees to challenge themselves in in-depth sessions designed to address specific challenges faced by funders with few or no staff. A whole subset of our website will be dedicated to this conference, so take some time and check it out. Jenna, can you please tell us a little bit more about your personal experience at one of our events?
Sure. I attended the national conference in Chicago back in 2016, and I can attest that it's one of the best conferences that's available for grant makers. There were a wide variety of very practical sessions on understanding grantee financial statements, building relationships with grantees, managing power dynamics, all of the things that are very practical and very actionable, which I really appreciated. I continue to draw every day on the skills and strategies that I learned at the national conference, so would certainly encourage you all to attend either the Connect conference or the upcoming national conference.
Thanks, Jenna. So this year we're doing our Connect in Anaheim, and in 2020 we're heading to Anaheim, California for our national conference. So National and Connect are a bit different. Connect is more of a workshop style conference, whereas National is we have more sessions and more attendees. In addition to our multi-day conferences, as I mentioned before, we have in-person programs in a variety of formats throughout the country. One of our most popular seminars is our annual 990 PF Tax Seminar, PF meaning Private Foundation. This seminar is vital to anyone who prepares, signs, or reviews Form 990 PFs. Many of our members also bring our accountants along with them. We just hosted our last seminar in Fort Lauderdale in January, so stay tuned for registration details for the 2020 session. Another one of our programs that I'd like to highlight is our Next Gen Fellows program. This is a 6-month cohort program for individuals between the ages 18 and 35. It typically runs from June to December, and it combines in-person programming, virtual learning, mentorship, and peer-to-peer connections. This is the perfect opportunity to give future philanthropic leaders the confidence needed to step into leadership positions in your foundation, in your community, and in your field. And we're accepting applications now. Jenna, weren't you a Next Gen Fellow alumni?
I was. I was part of the cohort back in 2016, actually. And one of the things that I really appreciated that makes Exponent's program particularly unique is that it's a mixture of both board members of foundations as well as staff members of foundations, family and non-family, both. So it was a great time for me to learn from people who were in a similar role as I am. And many of whom had the same questions that I did. Personally, I thought the sessions on sort of investment basics were really, really helpful, as well as a lot of the legal sessions that we attended. And we also got to do a mock site visit to practice going on a site visit in the Washington, D.C. area with the rest of the folks in our cohort as part of the program. And those were some of the more memorable sessions. And it was just a great opportunity, again, to sort of develop a peer network with people who were in a very similar role to me.
Nice. Thanks, Jenna. If you're interested in this program and you want to learn more, or you know a Next Genner that would be a good fit, or you want to become a mentor, please feel free to leave a comment in the chat box and we'll connect with you after the webinar. We know from our Q&A service and other member interactions that involving next generation and grant making is something that's really important to our members. So with that in mind, we have a whole suite of online tools that you can use to engage your next gen givers. We also have resources covering how to create space for participation, where to find leadership opportunities, and how to teach financial values and literacy. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit more about our resources. We have just released a newly designed sample document library with over 200 publications and articles, from creating a mission statement to policies and procedures, to board governance, to developing leadership succession plans, and much, much more. Here are just a few of the hot topics, and we'll show you where to find these resources on the website later on in the webinar. Jenna, what are some of your most helpful resources that you've downloaded?
I'm a big fan of the management and operations report. We use it every year sort of to create benchmarking data to see how our foundation matches up in terms of the number of staff that we have compared to similar foundations. We like to look at best practices. We like to look at the types of policies and procedures that we have in place to ensure that we have all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted. So that operations and management report is really beneficial to us in that regard because it is so targeted towards foundations that are a similar size or smaller than us. As staff members, we really like to use the 990 guide to review our 990 PF that our CPAs prepare. It helps for me as a program side person to understand the financial side so that if grantees or other members of the public have questions directly, we're able to help answer those.
Thanks, Jenna. One of our top-rated member benefits is our benchmarking data. Each year, we survey our members about 4 key areas important to foundations: operations, governance, grant-making, and investments. The result of this survey is the Foundation's Operations and Management Report, which Jenna just previously mentioned. This annual report includes more than 60 pages of mission-critical statistics that'll help you benchmark specific expenses and practices with other foundations of similar size. Members typically find the salary and benefits section of particular importance, as well as benchmarking of typical expenses, such as how foundations spend on 990 preparation, audits, legal advice, and many others. Our 2019 report will be available soon, and each member receives 1 copy in the mail. If you join after this webinar, you'll receive a copy in your new member packet. Once the latest report is released, members will be able to download a PDF version of the report from our website. Also, in the next month, we'll host a webinar entitled The State of Small Staffed Philanthropy, outlining the trends and results of the report. And remember, members have access to this recording if you're interested in taking a deeper dive into the data. I'd also like to highlight 3 assessment tools that many of our members have found useful. Our 10-minute impact assessment is a simple tool that will give you a framework for discussing impact. It'll help identify areas of strength and opportunities for increasing your impact. And based on your score, it points to additional resources and member stories that might be helpful. Our board self-assessment survey can help your board reflect on its governance practices, identify strengths and opportunities for improvement, and unearth new ideas and important discussion items. The grantee applicant and perception survey solicits extensive and anonymous feedback from your foundation's grantees and applicants. As an excellent philanthropy staff member will partner with you to tailor the implementation of the grantee applicant and perception survey, analyze the results, and recommend next steps for you and your board. The 10-minute impact assessment is available for anyone to download at no charge. The board self-assessment and the grantee and applicant survey do have additional fees associated with the service. If you are interested in learning more about these services, please let one of us know and we can point you to more information about the assessments and have one of our staff members follow up with you. Through Excellent Philanthropy, you can find answers to all of your philanthropy-related questions. We try to meet most of our members where they are and move them forward. One of our most valuable member benefits is our Q&A service. You can call or email our staff at any time and we'll get back to you in 1 business day, if not sooner. Quick question, has anyone used the Q&A service since you've joined? Please answer yes in the chat window, and if you have, what did you ask? For instance, Courtney recently called us and wanted to discuss whether it might be the right time for her foundation to hire an executive director. In addition to having someone on our Q&A team listen to her concerns and ask powerful questions about what hiring an executive director would mean for their foundation, Courtney received a follow-up email with a primer on how to hire great staff, as well as some sample job descriptions that might help her figure out what to look for in candidates. She was also offered benchmarking data on whether it's typical for foundations of her size to have an executive director. As Afia mentioned earlier, we strive to provide high-touch customer service, and you will certainly see this if you reach out to our Q&A team. Jenna, can you tell us about some of your experiences?
Sure. We use the question and answer feature several times each year. One of the things that I appreciate most about it is that it offers the opportunity to ask questions anonymously. The other piece that Exponent Philanthropy is so good at is helping to connect us to other members. So if we have a question that we submit through the question and answer service, in some cases the Exponent staff will come back and say, you know, there's another foundation that's addressing a similar issue or had a similar question, and here's how they resolved this. And they're able to often make a personal connection for us to another foundation. And so we're able to talk with other foundations who we never would have known otherwise, and get their feedback and sort of their insight firsthand. And so not only can the Exponent staff provide answers, but they can also connect you in many cases with other similar foundations that are going through something that might be helpful for you to know.
Yeah, that's great. I just wanted to also add that our Q&A service for our Signature Plus members works a bit differently. We wouldn't want you to spend any of your 10 hours communicating with an attorney if we already have the answers you need. So if our in-house experts can answer the question for you, we'll help you and get back to you within 1 business day. If we can't answer your question internally, or you'd simply like legal advice, we'll connect you with a legal partner and they'll get back to you via phone, email, whichever you prefer, within the next 3 business days.
Apart from our resources and Q&A service, what I think sets us apart is how our members have the ability to build strong and lasting connections with each other. We've already covered the many ways to make in-person connections at our conferences and programs. In addition to making these connections in person, you can also make connections online through our member directory and member discussion groups. I will share more information about these benefits during our website navigation portion of the webinar. We have an online professional directory that includes contact information for organizations that offer services to small staff funders. Anything to add to this, Jenna?
I would just say again that the relationships I think that you'll be able to form with folks who are just like you working at other foundations is really unique to Exponent Philanthropy. I would share that I made a great connection through the Next Gen program with another young professional who, just like me, juggles full-time work and being a mom. And she and I have very similar roles, and we enjoyed chatting throughout the program about our work and about our lives outside of work. So I think there's just a lot of benefit to the peer connections that can be made.
So the last and third pillar of our strategic framework is championing our members. We know that many of our members are most interested in promoting the nonprofits they support rather than shine the light on themselves. But here at Exponent, we believe it's important to shine the light on our tremendous impact that our small staff philanthropy members are doing. So we do this by elevating our member stories and showcasing their data. We have this amazing website, Outsized Impact. In fact, we'd love to hear more of your stories. So if you have a story that you want us to want to share, please drop a line in the chat box and we'll connect with you to explore ways to feature your story in the next few weeks. While many of our member benefits allow you to learn and build community, we're proud that our benefits also include partnerships to save you time and money. Who doesn't want to save time? I love saving time, money, resources, all of the above. So don't waste your energy reinventing the wheel. We have options for you to browse our online library to find templates on how other funders have handled common issues. You can use these templates to cut down on time with consultants and lawyers so they don't have to draft these documents from scratch. Another very popular benefit is our insurance program, especially our directors and officers liability insurance. We have a partnership with USI Affinity, and our members get a competitive price and competitive coverage. In many cases, members save enough on their D&O insurance to cover the cost of your membership fees. So that's something to keep in mind. Our newest benefit is our partnership with TriNet, which provides HR services amongst other administrative services specialized for small staff foundations and nonprofits. In addition to TriNet, we have a lot of other members discounts on a host of products, from GuideStar to Foundit. We have a lot of different benefits. There's a more in-depth overview on our website, and we'll go over that soon. And now we're going to take some time. I'm going to turn it back to Brian so he can walk us through the very practical part of our webinar as he navigates us through the website.
Thanks, Sophia. Getting accustomed to a new website can be very tricky, so we wanted to take some time on this webinar to give you a brief overview of exponentphilanthropy.org so you can find everything you're looking for in seconds. So let's get this started with the basics. I hope this isn't the first time that many of you are looking at our website. So first, you can log in by clicking the login button to view member-only content, as well as receiving member pricing for programs. And if you forget your password, you can click this link, or you can call us or email us at any time. There are four main sections on each page: our members, our mission, resources, and programs. I'll also highlight the My Profile page, where you can update individual contact info. Or if you're a primary contact, you can update your organization's listing or your directory listing, which are all important to us, so you can receive member benefits, and so that we have more accurate data on who our members are, so that we can help serve you better as well as our members. If you need to add an organization contact, you can also do that right here as well. Next, I'll highlight the member directory highlighted under our members. You can search the directory to look for members by location, asset size, funding strategy, funding areas, funding population, and experience. And you can do the same with our directory advisors located under Resources, Directory of Advisors. There are two main ways to access our online discussion groups. The first is by hovering over Resources and clicking Member Discussion Community. We have four discussion groups: our general discussion community, our community foundations group, a group for international funders, as well as our very small funders group. The second way is through, once again, by clicking on the My Profile page. And it should show you which groups you belong to. And when you're in the member discussion groups, you can post a question or respond to an existing question. By default, all users are subscribed to receive an email when a new question is posted. You can view all the content of the post currently in the email. To indicate your interest in a post and receive any responses to it, you can reply to the post or log into the community and like the post. Other email subscription options are Daily Digest or Weekly Digest. You can adjust your settings based on your preferences. We hope the discussion groups will provide a forum for you to connect with and learn from your peers.
Thanks, Brian. That was a great overview. Now it's my turn to show you how to find resources and upcoming events. Just like tips on how to involve next generation of philanthropists, succession planning is a hot topic amongst our members. So let's find some resources on this topic. First, go to resources. Then in this case, we would type succession planning under the keyword section. Perfect. You can also have the option to select topic, your giving vehicle, or just leave it blank. For this example, we're going to leave it blank so you can see the wide variety of resources available to you. And the results, you'll see a ton of articles regarding leadership succession. Results will vary depending on your search term, and don't forget that there may be more than one page, so go beyond the first page. You'll also get a result in a number of formats like webinars, primers, blog posts, and etc. If there are any related templates or sample documents, you'll see a note at the top of the page. And if there are any things available for download, you'll see it at the bottom of the page. Okay, so now let's take some time to look at our upcoming events. Go to the program section, click on Upcoming Programs Calendar. Here you'll see all the upcoming events that are open for registration. Before we go on, I want to show you one more thing. Let's check out the past webinar recordings. Go to Programs, then Webinars, then click on Webinar Archives. Perfect. From here, you'll see all of our recordings. Remember, as a member, you get access to the past recordings. Thanks, Brian. So that was just a quick overview of the website. There's a lot more to explore, and we'd encourage you to log in and get familiar with the resources that are available to you as a member. Also, since membership is based on your organization, as Brian mentioned before, if you have staff or board members that want access to these resources, they can simply be added to your organization's online profile. You can do this by yourself, or you can email their contact information to Brian and he'll take care of it from there.
We just blazed through a lot of information, and I bet many of you are wondering, what should I do next? Well, I think the best thing is to get involved and register for a program, and there is a great deal to choose from. I want to highlight some upcoming work programs we previously mentioned. First, we have the webinar on the State of Small Staff Philanthropy, which will be exactly 1 month from today from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Then I would also highlight our Connect conference, which will be October 2nd to the 4th in St. Louis, Missouri, and registration will be opening up this spring. Our Next Gen Fellows program is currently accepting applications. And then in 2020, we'll be having our national conference in Anaheim, California, and our 990 PF tax seminar, which is still being determined.
Well, this brings us to the end of our formal presentation. I know we covered so much information today, but we want to take some time to answer any outstanding questions that our material might not have covered. Please type your questions using the chat feature now, and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can. Remember, if you want all participants to see your questions, select the option See All Panelists and Attendees, circled here in red.
Hi, Kristen. I do see your question about D&O insurance. Yeah, you can actually email me or you can call me and I can provide the specific information and provide you the contact at USI. That is not a problem. And actually, I will take a note to reach out to you after this.
Hi, Jeff. I see that you're looking for more information on Master Jugglers. We are working on that program and we'll have more information in the next few months. So I'll take a note and get your contact. So once that opens up and once we figured out all the programming, we'll send you more information. And also to add, the Master Jugglers program will be linked to Connect. So we hope that you guys are looking into registering and we'll see you in St. Louis.
I did see a question about grant software, and I would just throw out that that would be a great question to ask on the listserv, and you'll be able to get direct feedback from other members as to what types of grant software they use. I would just throw that out there. That'd be a great listserv question.
Hi, Michelle. That actually is a good question. We know that a lot of the 12% are involved with like donor advised funds, they're personal givers. It just varies. And there are also some members who just individually are involved with public charities. I see Sally has a question about if there's anyone at Exponent that specializes in impact investments like PRIs. That would actually be a really good Q&A question, and I will actually refer that to our Q&A team.
So I see there's a question about personal development opportunities. One thing that comes to mind is our Foundations 101 virtual seminar. It's a five modules, and it goes through foundation funding from 101 to investment management. And so that's a great place to start in terms of professional development. I can think of a few other opportunities, and I'll be sure to connect with you after the webinar and send that in our follow-up email. Miles, I see you have a question about handouts about racial equity. We are actually working on a few different things around race, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And so we don't have anything officially, but we are working on it. And we'll make sure that you get a copy once that comes out. Any last minute questions? Also, to add to the racial equity work that we are working on, we'll have some sessions at Connect to address this issue as well. I see there's a question about when more information for Connect will be available. Registration for Connect opens April 1st. And from there, we should have more programming information available. Okay, so I think that we answered most of the questions. So I just want to say a big thank you so much to Jenna for taking time out of her busy schedule to join us and share what she finds helpful about being a member. And thank you to everyone else who participated. We hope you found this worthwhile. Remember, there's a lot of ways to get involved with Exponent Philanthropy as an organization, from serving on a committee or hosting a local program to sharing your story for a blog post or publication. If you're interested in volunteering, we're always looking, so please just write us an email. Here's our contact information, and send us a message at any time.
If you have any questions about your membership or would like to learn more about joining, you can contact us at any time. As Afia said, our contact information is included, and I'll also include it in the follow-up email I will be sending shortly. I also encourage you to connect with us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. The webinar has now concluded. When you exit the webinar, a survey will open up in your browser, and I'll also be sending it by email. Thank you in advance for providing valuable feedback on today's webinar, and thanks for participating. We hope to see or hear from you soon.